Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Friday. As always, if you're there, type a hello in the comments so that I don't feel like Billy No Mates, because this is always the really awkward bit of any live video where you sit either talking to yourself like a complete and utter loony, hoping that people are actually out there, or you just sit there staring blankly at the screen, still looking like an idiot. So whatever way I cut it, I'm going to feel like an idiot. So talking inanely to myself. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Jay. Hurrah, I'm not on my own. Good morning, Jess. Welcome to Friday. Good morning, Kay. Another week. Gosh, nearly at the end of September now. And it's very, very autumnal in my little corner of southeast England today. Very overcast, rained all night, but the garden appreciated it. Good morning, Kay. And it's definitely got that chill in the air now. I've even put the flip-flops away and broken out the slippers. That's how chilly it is this morning. Good morning, Sue. Oh, don't worry, you're not late. I don't give out bad marks or anything if you're late. Good morning, Nikki. No, it's totally voluntary to come and watch me, honestly. Although I do appreciate it very much indeed. Let's get rid of the keyboard because I don't need that. Right. Friday, again, end of September, heading into autumn now. Very, very much heading into autumn now. Good morning, Irene. Good morning, Leslie. Good morning, Kerry. Thank you to everyone that's given me suggestions on things to talk about. I've got some very, very good ideas there. Some will take a little bit more work than others. Several people have asked for a tarot chat. I couldn't even begin to cover it in an hour. So we're going to look at doing something a little bit special with that. So keep your eyes out if you're interested in an introduction to tarot. We will create something wonderful, hopefully. Kay says, my friend in Italy had a landslide and a river overflow. Wow. And that's what she woke up to this morning. Oh, that's not good. Sending her positive energy, Kay, definitely. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Xenia. Good morning, Lani. Good morning, Gypsy. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Jessie. Morning, everyone. You guys are fantastic joining me every Friday morning. I am still stunned and amazed that people join me to listen to me waffle. You guys are just, well, you're rock stars, total rock stars. Good morning, Liliana. What, 2 a.m. in Colorado? Liliana, you're mad. Absolutely mad. So you can tell how much chillier it is this morning because I've got me a cup of chai tea. So bear with me. Keep me warm. Oh, chai tea, so good. So this morning, good morning, Jackie. This morning I thought, 2 a.m. in Colorado, definitely the morning. Kay loves a morning natter with your cuppa. Excellent, brilliant. That's what it's all about. It's about connecting. It's about sharing. It's about bringing a smile, hopefully. I love my Friday mornings with you lot. It's absolutely fantastic. So this morning, I thought I would talk about something that I haven't really touched on at all in any of my talks so far. And when I look back, I've been doing them since March, I think. So that's a lot of waffle, an awful lot of waffle. Today, I thought I would cover animal magic. Anyone who is in England and of my age, I'm not talking about Johnny Morris. If you're much younger than that, you'll have to Google it. Animal magic is a big part of my witchcraft practice. When I talk about animal magic, I mean specifically, but not inclusively, working with animal spirit guides, but also working with the power of specific animals within spell working. So I'm going to cover a few of the things this morning. It is a huge subject, but I'll touch on, hopefully, a kind of outline of it all. It is very important to me. There are there are many variations of names for what you call. You may be familiar with it as a totem animal, but there's a little bit of a side issue with the word totem. Totem is probably the most commonly used term, but it is often, it originates with Native American and Aboriginal tribes, basically. But you can use animal spirit guide, messenger, companion, kindred animal, counselor, fetch, medicine, ally, power animal. There are all different sorts. I don't know what you guys call it. Hello, Sylvie. Kay loved the Animal Magic TV show. Yeah, it was good. A TV program from my childhood. I don't know what you guys call it. I started off calling it my totem animal, but I do tend to refer to it now as my fetch or my animal spirit guide. But I will explain. I actually looked up the word totem to find the original meaning. When I was I've written a book. Of course, I've written a book. I've got Pagan Portals, Animal Magic, which is where all this information comes from. So I looked up the word totem to see what the actual meaning of it was. Good morning, Kelly. And the original meaning is, and I will read it, a totem is a spirit being, sacred object or symbol that serves as an emblem of a group of people, such as a family, clan, lineage, or tribe. So actually, we've kind of taken it, as we do in modern paganism, and twisted it around to make it mean a power animal or a guide. So the totem would have been the object or the symbol of the entire clan or the entire tribe. So we have twisted it a little bit. But I think if you say totem animal, everyone knows what you're talking about. And I think we all say it with total respect for the oranges. Oh dear. Origins of it. Good morning, Ellen. Good morning, Christine. So the term spirit guide seems to mostly be used in shamanic practices. And that makes sense to me, because while you're journeying to the spirit realm, to the other world, you're meeting the spirits of the animals. So for me, that makes perfect sense, because I do a lot of hedge riding. So I'm going over into the other world, into the spirit realm. And that's where I'm meeting not always spirit animal guides, but human forms, deities, plant spirit guides, that whole realm. Messengers and counselors is a general term applied to animals, that the ones that just pop in and drop your message. So if you're meditating and an animal appears and gives you a message, that's a messenger or a counselor, basically. Good morning, Lizzie. Good morning, Jess. The one I like particularly is the term fetch. It's an Irish folklore term, and it means a spirit guide, but it can be in the form of a person or an animal. There are varying beliefs. Some say that the fetch is the true spirit of a person, and it appears in three forms. The fetch beast, who equates to our ideas of totem animal. The fetch wife, oh dear me, I need more tea this morning, don't I? The fetch whiff. I don't know if you pronounce it properly. WYF. A contrasexual spirit of the person whom it guides, and the fetch god, who is the divine face of our own fetch, if any of that makes sense to you. The fetch in this case would equate to our lifelong familiar or totem. Fetch can also mean a spirit doppelganger, and that is such a fantastic word. Fetch as in that spelling, says K, or an Irish spelling. No, fetch as in, as you've spelt it, K, F-E-T-C-H. Good morning, Diane. So fetch can also mean a spirit doppelganger. So that's the spirit that takes on the appearance of someone who's just died or who is about to die. It's not actually the ghost of the person, but it's an imitation of someone who's still alive or on that brink just before they step into the other side. Although folklore does state that seeing a fetch is a sign that the person it portrays is about to die. Aloha Lisa from Maui. Good morning, good morning. So the next one, and this is a fantastic word as well, a filgia. F-Y-L-G-I. Shall I start again this morning? Seriously. Filja, Fylgja, and that's from the Norse tradition. And it means the same as a fetch, a spirit, a person or animal who accompanies a person in their connection to their fate or fortune. I definitely need new teeth today. Okay, so the cord is still attached. Yeah, it's they think that the doppelganger type fetch will appear just before that person dies. So yeah, they've still got the life in them, but they're just about to step over. Lizzie, is this information in one of your books? Yes, my lovely, it is. It's in Pagan Portal's Animal Magic. All of today's come from the Animal Magic book, which I forgot to get down off the shelf. A Norse, and I do apologise again for pronunciation, Vitki, which means sorcerer, would not only draw from the power of his Fylgja, but could also project his conscious will into it in order for it to carry out magical workings. If any of you have read the Terry Pratchett books, and if you haven't, why haven't you? If you read any of the ones with Granny Weatherwax in, she borrows. So she sends her conscious into animals, and that's pretty much what this is describing. The Fylgja brought huge responsibilities and power, but could also throw hardships and challenges into the mix too. The Fylgja would mould itself to the personality of the person it was attached to, and the well-being of the human would depend on the well-being of the animal Fylgja. Many Norse believed that the Fylgja was in fact part of the soul and that it was capable of leaving the body and projecting itself elsewhere. It's actually quite fascinating to look into all the different cultures, because although I think we probably associate the word totem animal with the Native Americans, every single culture pretty much has animal spirits in one form or another, right across the board. Good morning, Maria. And Sue says, I always think of Damon as in Philip Pullman in his Dark Materials. Yes, absolutely, Sue. Yep, same sort of thing. Definitely. And even in a variation in Harry Potter in the form of their Patronus. Animal medicine is a term you may have heard as well. That's another Native American term which describes the power and the spirit that the animal carries within it. Just as you would work with plant medicine. Basically, the plant spirit for magical purpose, you work with the animal spirit in the same way. It's all in that other world, and you have to tap into that. Power animal is a shamanic term as well, refers to the spirit of the animals, so that they can physically and psychologically empower us. Hence the term power. So there are many different words and terms for pretty much the same sort of thing. They are your guides. They are the power animal, the spirit animal, the guide that's attached to you or has found you. They do come in various forms, and I will cover them in a moment. I just want to talk about a few of the words. Totemism. I've picked the worst day for speaking with all these words today because my teeth aren't working. It's a system of belief, basically, that we have a relationship with a spirit being, as in an animal or a plant. So the spirit interacts with us, serves as a symbol, as a guide, whatever it might be. Some clans and tribes would dress up as the animals. They'd put the animal skins on and masks on to appear as their totem animals. But that's totemism. That's what it means. It means the belief that you can work with animal spirit guides. Animism is the attribution of a living soul to plants, inanimate objects, and natural phenomena, derived from the Latin word anima, which means breath or soul. So it's a belief that the soul or spirit exists in every object, whether it's an animal, plant, or rock. And I absolutely subscribe to that. That is a huge, huge part of my belief, is that everything, whether it's a pebble, a shell, or a tree, or any living plant, has a spirit. In fact, I even think buildings do as well. So that's animism. That's the term for it. I think you can probably work with any spirit animal guide should you choose to. You can work a specific meditation to work with a particular animal if you need their particular characteristics. I think with what we would call the totem animal, the main lifelong spirit animal, I think you'll find they come to you. They'll make themselves known to you. Some of them are lifelong, some of them are there to deliver messages, some of them are there to travel a short while with you. There are so many different variations of it. The main ones, Christine says, I often leave offering to the spirit of my home. Yes, absolutely. I'm sure I'm not the only person that when I come in a house or go out of the house, I just put my hand on the wall and say, I'm just going out for an hour. Or when I come back, I say, we're home. Make that connection. Karen says, it makes her mad when people say only humans have souls. Oh, no, animals have souls too. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So the different types of spirit guides. So you've got the lifelong, and this is the animal spirit guide that will travel with you for many, many years. I am very blessed to have a lifelong spirit guide in the form of got a little thing, look, a wild boar. I was gifted this little statue, and he is very handsome. And he is a he. My spirit guide is a he. And it's the wild boar. He has been with me for many, many years. I was doing a series or working with a series of meditations that were meant to connect me with the masculine divine. I think we work so much with the feminine that this was a series of meditations specifically designed to get you to meet with that masculine divinity. I didn't meet a god at all, but I met my animal spirit guide in that meditation, and I'm going back quite a number of years now, and he's been with me ever since. He's always there. He's always in the background. I can always feel him whenever I need him. He brings himself forward. He's got a wicked sense of humor, obviously. I have representations of him on my altar, and I will show you the very first representation I had of him, which is that. And any of you that have children will notice that he's a Playmobil figure. When my son was small, we had a Playmobil advent calendar, and it was Father Christmas in a snowy scene, and there was a sleigh and Christmas trees, and in one of the little doors that he opened, out came this wild boar. So after Christmas, when I packed it all away, let's face it, kids don't put things away, I snaffled this one, and he sat on my altar he's still on my altar, but he was the first one that sat on my altar. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be lots of money to buy representations of them. Zinnia loves the wild boar figure. Yeah, they're both very sweet. But he found me. I didn't go looking for him. He found me. So do keep an eye out. There are other sorts. I mean, that's a lifelong one, and he's with me all of the time. I do have other animals, though, and I have my wild boar won't come down into the underworld with me. Whenever I do hedge riding, he'll come to the upper world, he'll come to the middle world, he won't come to the underworld with me. I have a different guide for that, who appeared on the first journey that I did to the underworld, and that is a black panther. But it's the only time that I ever connect with that particular animal guide. I have other ones as well. So you may find that specific journeys that you do, when I go into the Akashic records, I have a black Labrador. Again, doesn't come anywhere else with me, only specifically for my Akashic record journeys. Never see him anywhere else. So you might find if you do specific journeys that you'll have a different guide. You might have the same guide rule, but you might find you have a different animal guide for those. You might find that you have animals appear just out of the blue. Those are normally ones to give you messages. It might be that you see them in the real world. It might be that you see them in a meditation, or they just come in a dream. But it has, it'll appear just the once. What we got here? Oh, Susie's a fox. Fantastic. Kay, what's hedge riding? Watch my video from, I think it was last week or the week before, on meditation, journeying and hedge riding. It is a form of journeying, going into the other worlds. There's also a blog about it on my Pathos Pagan blog, Kay. Jessie's off to yoga. Have a wonderful yoga class, Jessie. Maria, I'm not entirely sure what mine is. First animal I met through meditation was a zebra. You will know if it's your lifelong one because it will keep appearing. You'll see it in meditations, you'll see it on the telly, you'll see it when you're out shopping, you'll see it in books. It'll keep appearing to you. And if you're not sure, do a specific meditation to meet that animal and ask, specifically what it's there for. Sue, any suggestions for learning more about the Akashic records? I'll tell you what, and it's one of the, it does sound like a bit of a joke, but have you seen those Idiot Guides books, the Idiot Guides 2? They've got one on Akashic records and it's actually very, very good. So I would recommend that. So yes, you might get ones that just give you messages. It might be that a cat walks past you or you see a fox out on the street. It might just be one of those incidences where you just happen to be there and the animal walks past. But it might be a message, particularly if you dream about it or it appears in a meditation. It may be that animal just popping in with a message for you. Have a look at the characteristics and see what it means to you. Then we've got the shadow one. Anybody here really, really hate a particular animal? Spider, snake, something like that? Something that really makes you go, oh! That'll be your shadow animal spirit. It's the one you fear the most. There are reasons that this animal is your shadow animal. You need to have a look at the characteristics of it and see how they relate to you and to your personality. You'll be quite surprised, I think, because it will be a reflection of the things that you probably don't like about yourself. So it's worth exploring that one. There's also the purpose. So my Black Panther that appears in the underworld, my Black Lab that's in the Akashic records, they're there for a purpose. They're particular animals that are there specifically to help me on those purpose or on that journey. So lots of variations, lots of different types of them. What have we got here? Xenia has one that comes in Shamanic Journeys. Yep. Yeah, I think if you are traveling if you are doing shamanic journeys or hedge riding or something that's a bit deeper than a meditation, it's often wise to have an animal spirit guide with you. Jackie has a fox, a llama, and an owl. Also affinity with hedgehogs. Brilliant. Deirdre's animal guide is a raven. Yep, that's a really magical one. Christine has a phobia of snakes. Yeah, my husband does too, Christine. Worth looking into the characteristics of them and what resonates with you on that. Karen, worms scare me, but love snakes. Again, look into... Oh, earwigs. Lizzie, yeah, I don't like earwigs, Lizzie. They're really bizarre things, aren't they? Jackie is spiders for short. See, I don't mind spiders. They weave webs of weird. They weave the fate. Sue, shadow, fish. Oh, and you're a Pisces. Look into it. Look into it. Maria met a snake once. Yeah, I stroked a snake once at the zoo. It was surprisingly dry. I thought it was going to be slimy, but it wasn't. Deirdre, another on snakes. It's funny, isn't it, how people often have similar ones. It's snakes or spiders are the two main ones, I think. Diane, how do they help you? In general, the animal guides. Well, my lifelong one, the Wild Boar, and I've got a little picture here too. This is Nomart. I don't know if you can see that. This is Nomart, NOME-art.com. Beautiful artwork. This was a present from the lovely Maria as well. He's there. He's always there. So he'll appear in meditations particularly if I'm doing hedge riding where I need a bit of support. I can draw on his power if I'm in any kind of situation that I'm uncomfortable. It's the characteristics of each individual animal that they bring. So he's a warrior. He's a fighter. He brings power and strength. And I can draw on that energy in whatever situation I'm in that I need it. Sylvie, not afraid of animals, but birds will never enter the house. Yeah, Lizzie, earwigs make you shudder. Yeah, I am with you on that one. Karen's guide is a wolf, and the last 15 years the crow as well. Wolf appears a lot as well, particularly with magical people. Okay, I hope my Taz Black Lab journey's with me. Yeah, I think my black lab is with the Akashic Records, and I think that is all about trust. It's about trust and loyalty with dogs, isn't it? Good morning, Teresa. Excuse me, sip of tea. They all are there for a reason, and you can tap into their power. And I say you can also just use individual animals for their specific characteristics in spell work, but we'll come on to that. So animal medicine, or the actual animal spirit of them, it's about knowing their characteristics. It's about knowing what they can bring to you. But I've got a list here of things that it can do. It can give you strength, energy and enthusiasm to face up to difficult situations or challenges. It can shed light on an important decision that you have to make. It can offer ideas for a particular project and find solutions for situations that are unclear. It can help you access your own inner strengths. It can help you to overcome your fears. It can unleash your hidden potential and true qualities. It can help you build up your resistance to illness and help speed up the healing process when you are ill. It can help you discover important information in special circumstances. It can even help you find lost objects. It can keep you out of harm and help you to avoid dangerous or life-threatening situations. It helps boost your intuition. It can help you from it can help protect you from physical, mental, or emotional pain. It can comfort you when things are tough, and it can help you improve your relationships. I mean, I don't know what I'd do without mine, to be honest. I've got quite a menagerie. I'll go into it in a minute. It can help you develop your self-confidence and can help guide your spiritual journey. But they do provide many roles. So there's the role of counselor or messenger, role of protector, teacher, healer, and guide. Very, very many different things that it can do. And you can have more than one. I think the lifelong tends to be just one or maybe two. That's kind of your main focus, and mine is the Wild Boar. I also have others. As I say, I've got the Black Lab, but he's purely for the Akashic Records, and the Black Panther is the underworld. But then I have others that come and go. So I've got the Magpie, and he comes and goes quite often when there's a bit of mischief going on, or there's a bit of a upset to deal with, people messing about, basically. That's when the Magpie will appear for me. The Seagull, I've got quite a few birds. The Seagull, I mean, I live near the sea, so obviously I hear the seagulls quite a lot, but they specifically make themselves known when I'm dealing with any emotional problems. And that's when they come to support me, or to let me know that that's what it is and that's how I need to deal with things. And the bee has been with me for the last couple of years to help me through the menopause. So they've all got their different roles. They've all got their different things that they help me with. And they all of that kind of group come and go. Boar is always with me. I think it's a case of looking out, because you will see things that catch your eye. You're obviously not going to see, an elephant walking down the main high street or anything like that. You will have to keep your eyes open. Sometimes it will just be in the print on a piece of fabric, or then you'll see a picture on advert on the telly with one on, or then you'll see a piece of jewelry, or it'll be little, like with deity really, there'll be little taps on the shoulder to make you aware, quite often anyway. Kay is feeling enthused to find out more about animals to work now for future journeys. That is a fascinating area to work with. Karen loves magpies. Zinnia loves magpies. Yeah, they are very, very magical creatures. All of that, the crows, the ravens, magpies, they're all amazing creatures. Seagulls, again. Seagulls are, they're related to the sea. So it is, for me, it's all about emotions. Kay has seagulls, magpies, and bees constantly in the garden, and I really feel their personalities. Is that weird or good? Both, Kay. It's a blessing. It is really a blessing to be able to connect with their characteristics and their personalities is fantastic, and a gift, definitely a gift. They can be healers, they can be guides, they can give you insight and be protectors. all sorts of things. So if you want to actually find one to work with, there are many ways. First of all, you have to have your tea. Kay often has a dragonfly around the garden. Dragonflies, butterflies, all about changes and transformations, merging from your cocoon. But yeah, look out for any animals that you see anywhere. Quite often you'll be drawn to animals. My history with the wild boar is I worked on a pig farm as a teenager. So pigs in that one form or another have always been with me. So it was no big surprise when the wild boar appeared. Maria says, nice cut. Yes, that is the great Achuin. Animals, see? I didn't even realise that at the time. Yes, elephants on the back of a turtle. Discworld, Terry Pratchett books. This is actually a very, very old mug and very precious. Sylvie, one day while driving to work, I saw a fox as the car was at a stop sign, and last summer I saw foxes in the woods near the house. Yeah, it may be that if you've seen them a couple of times, it may be that they're messengers for you, so you need to look up the meanings of fox. Badgers are cool too, Xenia. Badgers are brilliant. Lizzie has otter. Oh, otters are wonderful. They're all about your inner child. Came 2 years ago. Rook also. Yeah. When I was a child, it was a horse. Lots of strength in horse. And butterfly. Yeah, butterflies are. They all about transitions. And Diane works with rook as well. We can go through some of the animals in a minute. No problem with that. It might be as well that you collect particular animal ornaments or cuddly toys. Was there an animal you particularly drawn to as a child? Is there an animal that you keep sort of hangs around you or keeps trying to make a connection with you? It's about being aware. And if you're not sure, meditate to meet them. Meditate to meet that particular animal and ask. Dreams are another good one as well. If you see animals in your dreams, quite often those animals are messages for you. So do pay attention and look up about them. I've got lots of allergies this morning, so lots of tea. Kay loves otters and horses. Horses often move near to keep me nearby. I think horses are very, very spiritual. They're they're quite keyed up, quite switched on to things, and people as well. Maria had ladybirds the first time in the garden this year and also been landing on me. Definitely worth then looking up, Maria, about ladybirds. Christine, lizards and also stags, but mostly eagles. That is a powerful collection of animals there, Christine. Very powerful collection. Diane met a cheeky weasel in meditation the other evening. Excellent. Kay saw a kite flying around her house. Yeah, that one's a message, I think, Kay. Do look that up. You can meditate with the specific idea of meeting your animal spirit guide. And if you have a look on my YouTube channel, there is a meditation there to meet an animal spirit guide. You can work a spell, light a candle, watch the flame, and ask for an animal spirit guide to appear. Scrying, you can use your bowl of water, scry across the top, and watch the surface for images of animals. Write a petition on a slip of paper that you want to meet your animal spirit guide, and then burn it or drop it in the water. Stand under the full moon and ask to meet your spirit guide. You can dance to meet your animal spirit guide. If you like a bit of dancing, get your drum out, get your rattles out, dance about the room. Turn to the 4 directions, call to the animals that correspond to them, and see what comes and meets you. Dance, drum until it arrives. It is an old method, drumming and rattle, to bring the spirit of the animal in. So let it come to you. Be open to it. You can do a ritual to ask your animal spirit guide to come in. Lisa's going to... I'm not surprised you're going to hit the pillow, Lisa. It's silly o'clock over there. Have a very good sleep. Kay, how can I link into the kite for the message? Well, you can either look up just do a Google for kite totem animal, and you'll get all sorts of meanings and see if anything resonates to you. Or you can just sit down with and meditate with the actual purpose of meeting the kite. So set that purpose in your mind, sit down, close your eyes, and take yourself off to meditate to meet the kite. You can write yourself a little script beforehand if you want to describe a little journey to take you to meet the kite. Xenia, love owls, but never saw one in a shamanic journey or a meditation. So not every wish animal is a power animal. No, they're going to choose you. However much you might want to connect with a specific animal, it's them that chooses you, and it will be for a reason. You can't just pick, I'm going to have, the big, strong power animal. You might end up with an ant. And actually, my power animal is an ant. Doesn't sound amazing, but actually it is. You think about how hard an ant works and how much they do and how much work they do and the teamwork and huge amount of magic involved in the ant as a spirit power animal. So you will get whatever comes to you, and it will be for a reason. And again, some of them will travel with you for a certain period of time. Others will be with you for a long time. They will be there for a reason, and it's up to you to pay attention to that. But you can do a little ritual to ask an animal spirit guide to join you. And if you do like working with rituals, you can call the power of animals in for the quarters, because all of the animals are associated with an element. So you could call in a different animal for each of the quarters as well. So what happens if you do all these meditations, you do all these spells, you dance about like a loony, and you're still Billy No Mates? If no animal, and that's our animal, Eric, barking on cue. Because my husband's just come in the door. It's got to be patience. You've got to have patience here. It might be that it's not the right time for an animal to come to you. It might be that there is an animal waiting, but they are waiting for you to be ready. So patience is the real key. Don't give up. Do keep trying, at certain periods of time. Just keep trying with it. But it may be that it is the wrong time. So you do have to be very patient. Yes, ants are amazing creatures and very strong. Yeah, very strong. Just going to look as if nobody noticed you.
I snuck past.
Good. Could you pass me the animal magic book off the shelf, please? Yeah, I knew it was handy. There you go. But then, Beck, you don't have to apologise for being late at all. Teresa was visited by a vulture. Haven't seen it since, but I feel like it's still working with me. Yeah, it may well be that it's just doing what it needs to do in the background. That's the animal magic book. If anybody, she's a fantastic woman on the front there with her, I think it looks like a kestrel or something. So you've got an animal spirit guide. Yes, that was Eric Xenia barking. Kay, my daughter as a child visited a farm with an owl on her shoulder, and later as an adult the same scenario repeated itself. Amazing. Animals are so amazing. So what does it mean if you're visited by an animal spirit guide? Well, it's up to you to work out and understand why it's with you. Lizzie's just bought the book. Lizzie, you're a star. So say butterfly came to you. Butterfly symbolizes reincarnation, magic, beauty, love, and the transformation of personality and life. So you need to understand where you are in the cycle of your life and using it to the fullest. But it also covers divination concerning future events that have a bearing on your cycle of life and rebirth. The butterfly is all about the cycles, about cycle of life, death, rebirth. Relate that to your own life and situation and learn from it. Butterfly is with you to help, assist, and guide you through whatever transformation you're going through or about to go through. Don't discount the mythical creatures either. Griffin may have joined you. So seeing Griffin is a sign of powerful new beginnings, of learning and how to use psychic skills in a useful manner. Bear in mind these do have slightly negative sides too, as we do. Everyone's got a character and a personality, and it's got good and bad. On the negative, the griffin is subconscious punishment for the love of riches, greed, or the desiring of riches. Its magical attributes understand the relationship between psychic energy and cosmic forces, along with spiritual wisdom and enlightenment. It brings the dark side of ourselves into submission. But quite often the animals are there to help you, not just with the good stuff, but also to deal with the darker side. Someone mentioned an otter. So what about an otter? His magical attributes are finding inner treasures or talents, faithfulness, gaining wisdom, the ability to recover from a crisis. Be sensible, but not overly suspicious when something or someone new enters your life. Its appearance points to a need to enjoy life rather than just endure it. I think Otter for me is all about playfulness and about digging out your inner child. He's all about social life, friends, happiness, guidance to uncovering talents, psychic or physical, or all these things relate to Otter. So they all have their own unique powers, and they can all be utilized upon and called to assist us. Lizzie, butterfly for me means my family are nearby. So yeah, everyone will also, you'll also find once you've been working with the animal spirit world that they will have specific personal meanings to you as well. Christine was thinking about shamanism, and I went to bed asking myself to show me a shamanic animal. Dreamt of a massive lizard. Scared me at first. Yeah, it would, a massive lizard in your dreams. But did you no harm? Yeah, your dreams are really good for connecting with animal spirits. Kay, I'm glad you mentioned mythical animals because that broadens the possibilities. Yeah, I've been teaching animal magic for a very long time, and right at the many years ago, I had a student that was a little bit embarrassed to tell me that the animal that had come to them was a T-Rex. And they weren't sure whether that was just acceptable or not. But, you know, they did live at one time. They're not mythical. They were around on the planet one time. So I didn't see any reason why not. Very powerful creature. A very strong one to have. But that worked for her. So don't discount anything that comes to you at all. Kay has the robin, does that for the whole family. Robins are very special. Robins quite often hail new projects or beginnings of things. So once you've found your spirit guide or ones are turned up, what do you do next? You've got to honor them. They are, if you're not going to look after them, they're going to bugger off, basically. So you have got to honor them and stay connected with them. So learn all you can about them. If you think that animal is going to be very important, it's worthwhile learning everything about them, where they live, how they live, whether they live in family groups, how they have their children, everything you possibly can about what part of the world they come from, everything, because all of those details will help you understand why the animals come to you and how to honor them. You can make pictures of them, or as with this one, buy pictures of them. Lots of different brilliant artists are doing images of all sorts of things. Little statues, and again, doesn't have to be really expensive. These two are children's toys, but they're absolutely perfect for it. Beck has an elven man guide who shapeshifts into an owl. Robin's popping in to check on me. Also get a badger, a tree frog, and Sekhmet coming to me. Sekhmet, Maria, is a god, Egyptian god. Karen's family guardian is a golden lab. Yeah, dogs are so loyal, aren't they? They are loyal and protective. So I have a little part of my altar dedicated to my main totem. Quite often I will add things as well if one of my other guides is with me. So I've got seagull feathers, I've got magpie skull, and I've got magpie wings as well, and they will quite often go on there. I've got representations of the bee on there as well, but my main one, I've got the two little statues and I've got the images, but I also have a candle for my wild boar, and he's a very special wild boar because his favorite color is bright pink. You don't question it. It's just the color candle that he wanted. And in here, I've got some boar's teeth as well that I was gifted from a not ripped out or anything. They were from an animal that had passed over. So I've got some boar's teeth in it as well. And that kind of I like whenever I'm working on my altar with my Wild Boar guide. So it doesn't have to be fancy. You can keep it very, very simple. Kay's dad used to talk to the birds in the trees by emulating bird whistles. Yep, my dad does the same, still does it. My dad is a very, very big twitcher. Lizzie is going to be honest, seeing as you said about mythical animals, it's not a horse, it's a Pegasus. It's funny, isn't it? I think sometimes we get a little bit embarrassed about saying my spirit guide's a unicorn, or, don't be. Mythical creatures are just as important as regular creatures, sometimes even more so. It will depend. But no, honestly, any animal at all, whether it is within the animal world now or extinct ones or mythical ones, they are all valid as animal spirit guides. Don't discount any of them. I also wear some lovely jewelry. I have a necklace with my Wild Boar on, and I have a bracelet with my Wild Boar on, made by the very lovely Pixie Maid. If you want some beautiful silver crystal jewelry to honor your animal, then hop on over to the Pixie Maid Facebook page, because that's what she specializes in, and they have so much magical energy to them, you would not believe it. Definitely recommend that. So I'm wearing it all the time, so I'm carrying his energy with me all the time. But you can make little magical medicine pouches and put representations of the animal in. You can associate crystals and herbs and things with them and put them in there as well. Definitely research your animal, but also find out the folklore and the myths and the stories about them as well. I also donate to wildlife charities, specifically the Wild Boar when I can. Don't ignore anything that comes to you. Just, even if it's just a message, even if something walks in front of you, an animal walks in front of you, it might be that there's a message there. But you have to listen to them, and you have to connect with them on a regular basis. They like a bit of attention, just like any animal. But do remember the positives and the negatives. It takes a bit of time and effort to work with them and to keep them with you, but it is very, very rewarding and so worth it. Maria loves her jewelry. Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. Could these mythical creatures just bring the overall message you might not get if you see a regular animal? Does that make sense? Oh, okay. So if your regular animal brings a message and you're ignoring it just because it's a cat or something, and then a griffin heads in, is that a kind of, you weren't listening to the message the first time, I'm bringing it to you now? Quite possibly, Kay. Yeah, it will be different for each person, but yes, that does make sense, and it could quite well be. Karen wears a wolf bracelet and a crow bangle. Yep. Xenia has Pixie Made pieces. Yeah, we're all part of a good club there, Xenia. Good morning, Heather. 4:45 a.m. over the pond. Wow, that's early. Nikki saw a coyote in the road while working tonight. It might just, where I live, we see cats and we see foxes on a regular basis. So it's about deciding whether it is just one of those regular meetings or whether they've got a message for you. You'll feel it, hopefully. Maria wears a black obsidian owl pendant, and they are lovely. Rachel Bailey there. You're very welcome, Rachel. Your jewelry is beautiful. Kay, I think this is the gift with COVID. We stop and recognize so many important things. We were too busy to stop and watch. Yeah, we should always do that, to stop and watch. It is about paying attention to the things that come your way, definitely. And you can say you can have more than one. I only have the one lifelong one, but I've got lots of others that come and go. So don't discount. Don't say I'm sorry, I've already got one. You'll have to leave the room because I've already got one. Because I also work with dragon magic, which is a different thing, but could be counted as animal spirit guides. Don't discount it. Dragon magic's a whole other thing. But again, supposedly mythical. I say supposedly. Rachel says, I find the seasons bring different animals to me. Yep, I always like making songbirds in the spring, and I'm making more crows now. Yeah, it is. Seasons affect us in lots of ways, don't they? It really does. Yeah, and that makes sense because you'll see different animals in the different seasons as well. And of course, I'm not likely to see a coyote walking across my yard in the middle of southeast England. So if a coyote came to me in some other way, then I would take notice of it because it's not a usual event. Kay, I believe I have a guardian animal like guardian angels, but then as you say, others pop in and out. Yeah, I don't personally work with angels, but yes, that is a very good analogy. It is like having a guardian animal guide. I would with any animal spirit, just as I recommend with any new deity that finds you, research them. Do some proper reading and research about them first so that you know what you're dealing with and how to deal with them. It's only good manners for a start. When Heather works in the garden, she has 3 crows that sit on the telegraph poles and they watch me and chat. Good morning, Alex. Yeah, I have pigeons, actually. Pigeons, another one of mine. They come into our garden quite a lot, although Eric doesn't mind any of the birds in our garden apart from pigeons. He runs straight out of the garden barking at them, bless them. But pigeons do come quite a lot into our garden. And your pigeons are associated with doves. So for me, it's all about peace. They quite often appear when I need to take a bit of time out and have a bit of a chill. Leslie, I have a dragon with me when I meditate that I think is my animal guide, but recently I've been seeing a lizard type of face. What could this mean? It will be different for each person, Leslie, and you will need to do some more meditation and some research to find out. It may be that the lizard type face is the dragon's face because they are big lizards generally, but you'll need to meditate some more to research that. Specifically sit down, maybe even write yourself a script to meet your dragon guide and ask him. They may be able to shed some light, hopefully. Maria has owls, magpies, cats and donkeys. Yep, that's a menagerie. We all like having lots of animals. That's a point. Rachel, like me, lives in the southeast of England. That's why I find it hard to work with non-native animals. Hares always feature and owls. Yes, I think you will be connected usually more to animals that you're familiar with, if that makes sense. But yeah, don't discount anything that comes your way. If you live in the middle of England and an elephant comes your way, don't discount it. It's there for a reason. Alex's spirit animal is badger. I love badgers. They are so beautiful. Christine gets lots of collared doves, and one hit the window in the garage and left a beautiful imprint. I have to admit, I think pigeons, and particularly, are not overly blessed with brains. They don't seem to be the most intelligent of birds, bless them. Kay's pigeons flap around all day playing. Yep. I think if any animal comes your way, it will be slightly different for each person. So to hone it down, meditate to connect with that animal, but also do some research. I think it's only polite if you think the animal's there for a reason to do a bit of research about it. You might be surprised with what comes up. And don't discount it too. If you look at the animal and you think, oh no, I hate that, or no, I hate that, it may well be that that's your shadow working and that it's there to highlight those things that you don't like. Have a look at the basics. Have a look at where it lives. Is it in the ocean? Is it in the trees? What habitat? What are the characteristics? Is it a predator or prey? What are the good points? What are the bad points? How does it interact with other animals and its young? What's its physical presence? And how will all of these things affect how you work and how you connect with it? What element does it correspond to mostly? I mean, birds generally air. Fire is animals that creep, scorpions, lizards, desert creatures, but also horses and lions. Water, ones that swim, obviously. And earth, rabbits, cows, wolf, bear, deer, mole, all that type. So see what element it connects with as well. that won't be important as well. Don't be defined by the definitions, but it all helps as a tool to learn from. It's not a little box to slot them in, but it will give you all that information to help you understand why that creature's there for you. But don't limit it to that element either, because obviously the duck swims on water and you'd think, well, that's water element, but it flies as well. So you've got water and air there as well. Where does it live? Is it on top of a mountain? The goat is very different from the water-loving hippopotamus. You've got to take that into account. Goat might teach us about sure-footedness on the path or seeking new heights. Hippo's more likely to tell you to remain grounded, but it's water connection, so it's going to deal with your emotions as well. Its cycle of power is important as well. So the bat is a night creature. The rooster crows at dawn. Stag turns to rut in the autumn. And the snow owl is symbolism of winter. So taking note in as well the cycle of power that each animal's got. What does it look like? In magic, the law of signature states that the attributes without mirror the qualities within. Not that I'm suggesting that your animal guide will appear and you'll look like it. Gosh, I hope I don't look like a wild boar. But take a look, because there may be some qualities there that mirror your own. So that'll be helpful as well. What shape, what colour, plumage, fur, it all adds to it. So the lion or the eagle is solar. Jaguar and the owl are nocturnal and lunar. Plumage of the bird might connect with your chakras, or the white swan's feathers may mean peace to you. It will all have a meaning. Beck, my husband had visions of a little excitable dog when I first did a Reiki session with him. That's his Patronus. See, that's your Harry Potter coming up. Xenia loves squirrels. Yeah, they're funny creatures, aren't they? Squirrels I always see about... they are excitable, so they are fun-loving, but they also know about abundance and storing it away, squirreling it away. Magpies are constantly laughing as they sit in the trees. Yeah, they do that. They do make a cackling sound. They are naughty. They are very naughty. Alex says the badger, earth guardian of the ancestors and keeper hidden wisdoms. Yeah, yes, definitely. Badgers are very, very wise. I think there's a real meaning. If you're familiar with the Wind in the Willows book, there's a reason that the badger is the wise old one. He is definitely a guardian of the ancestors, definitely. Beck must have a little hamster with chubby cheeks and goofy teeth. Xenia, as for animal mirroring my own qualities, you're still annoyed that you can't fly. Yeah, we can't do that. Karen, lion is my spirit animal and we share similar hairstyles. See, it's all falling into place. I'll be growing some tusks soon. But have a look at everything. I mean, how does the animal defend itself? Does it roll over and hide like the opossum does when it's attacked? Does it stick in, does it stand and fight or charge its enemies like the wild boar? There's a warning for you. This will show you how your animal deals with conflicts and arguments. And that might either help you or reflect how you do it. And it'll be a lesson for you either way. And, bear in mind that not all of what you think is true. So you might think there is the old tale that the ostrich likes to bury its head in the sand. She doesn't, because otherwise she wouldn't be able to breathe. What she actually does is dig a hole for her eggs, regularly puts her head into the hole to turn the eggs. So don't believe everything that's in folklore, because ostriches don't bury their heads in the sand. She's just looking in her hole to turn her eggs. Also note what it eats. And this is important. I haven't dealt with shape-shifting here, but if you are very connected to your animal, it is an interesting exercise to shape-shift. I would recommend being quite experienced with meditation before you shape-shift, because it can be quite shocking sometimes, depending. And also bear in mind what the animal eats. If you are a vegan or a vegetarian, you do not want to shapeshift into a tiger. because it will be quite a uncomfortable experience for you. But shape-shifting into the animal, taking on the animal's qualities, really does help you learn a lot about it. But just be mindful of that. Look at the mating habits and how it raises its young. Does your animal mate for life, or is it a bit of a gigolo? I think as well, take note if it's a male or a female. So the female peacock is quite plain. The male peacock is a big fat show-off. That will also come into it as well. How do they look after its young? Does it stay in a family pack like the jackal, or does it eat its young sometimes, like sharks have a tendency to do? Not that I'm recommending that, obviously, but it will give you a bit of an insight into why it's there with you or why it's there for you. Maria gave 2 squirrels an acorn each the other day as I kept in my pockets. Yeah, they do like to put them away. Kay, I love how you are simplifying and highlighting so many things to consider. There is an awful lot. This is a huge subject, and I am literally just scraping the surface. If you look on my Pathos Pagan Beneath the Moon blog, there are a few posts on animal magic of varying bits that go into it a bit more detailed. And obviously, if it really takes you, then buy the book, because it's got so much information in there, and I am just scraping the surface here. Karen, my second son's guide is a badger. I think my elder daughter has got a badger. She's not really into this kind of thing, but badger appears quite often for her. Christine likes to fly in meditations. Yep, fly over mountains. It's beautiful, and feel the energy of my eagle. A flying meditation is liberating. Absolutely. Take note of what sound the animal makes as well, whether it's silent type or does it laugh loudly like a hyena. I think I probably should have had a hyena animal. The whale obviously sings a song. But, you know, I am very aware that there's so much here, and we haven't even scratched the surface. So do an awful lot of research into it. And I say with the shadow animals as well, if that one comes up, have a look at why you're frightened of that animal. Have a look at all the same criteria, where it lives, how it lives, what it looks like, and see what characteristics there may explain why you fear it, because they may well reflect some of the things in your own life. The other thing I briefly want to cover, because I'm aware that I've talked for ages, is spell working. If you're working a spell for anything, you can draw on animal magic power to help you with that spell. Doesn't have to be any of the spirit animal guides or a power animal or any animals that you've worked with before. You can call on the specific animal just for the power for that magical spell. So if you want to work a spell to help you with your finances, you can call upon the squirrel because it has hoarding instincts. You can call on the dove if you're working a love spell. Courage and cunning of wolf if you need to work a spell to help you through a difficult time. Lion for courage, dragon for protection, butterflies to help you through changes and transformations. Fly a winged horse on an astral journey. Excuse me. If you're looking for healing, then dolphin is absolutely perfect to call on. Magic of dolphin for healing. Swan will bring you grace. If you're looking for a transformation one as well, frog is brilliant. Think about the frog in the fairy tales. You kiss the frog, it turns into a handsome prince. Personally, I'd leave it as a talking frog because I think that's far more useful, but you know, it's up to you. Rat can help you overcome hatred, and whales can bring balance and relaxation. And horses are brilliant to work with to overcome obstacles. Think about them jumping over the fences. Brilliant energies to call in for a magical working. And all you need to do is either get the image of the animal in your head or print off a little picture from the internet or have a little ornament. And you can draw on the energy of that particular animal for your magic. Really, really useful to work with. I mean, I have literally just scraped the surface there. It's such a huge subject. Karen, that explains why mine's a wolf. Yeah, it will. Once you've looked into all of the details about the actual animal, it will make sense. Diane, do we cover animal magic more as we go in on school? Yes, Diane, there is a lesson on animal magic and a branch lesson on animal magic. We go into it much deeper. Kay, I hope you're not offended, but I would say your laughter is like a kookaburra, quite infectious. I've heard a kookaburra, Kay, and I'm not offended. I think you're spot on. I'll take that as a compliment. Maria, what would magpies signify? Well, it will be slightly different for each person, but magpie often comes to me when there's mischief going around, when someone's trying to cause a bit of trouble or where there's a bit of something hinky going on. But magpies are very, very magical creatures. But let's read you here, Maria. Magpies. They are occult. They are like ravens and crows. They're very, very magical birds. Occult, magic, knowledge, dedication, spirit world, fairy, past lives, consequences, communication, clarity, opportunistic, perception, illusion, and expression. And all of those things are connected to how the magpie lives its life and how it does. They're very vocal. They've been known to sit in my garden and shout if there's no food about. They love shiny things. And they are very connected to the spirit world. So magpie are very, very magical. But yeah, that's animal magic, just literally scraping the surface of it. For just a quick few diary things here. If you've got any questions, do please ask them. I'm happy to answer. But I am well aware that I've talked for ages today because it's such a huge subject. Sunday 27th, this coming Sunday, if you are a student, a subscription student at Kitchen Witch, we have a Zoom chat at 4 p.m. Details are on the student Facebook group. Sunday the 18th of September, again for students, Gypsy's doing her student Reiki at 7 p.m. in the student group. Then on the Sunday 25th of October, we have an open Samhain ritual live online in the Kitchen Witch Facebook group, main Kitchen Witch Facebook group at 7 p.m. Details are on the Facebook group. And then Sunday, 15th of November, we've got a live Waffling Witches at 4 p.m. as well. Both of those last two are open to everyone in the Kitchen Witch group. And there's some links appearing from the backroom pixie, backroom fairy, no, elf, something like that. Kay, the magpie explanation makes sense. Yeah, you will find. I mean, you can just Google the animals. If you Google magpie totem animal, and it will come up with lots and lots of meanings, and it will be slightly different. Maria, thank you. I do have this book, but I thought I'd ask. Yeah, at the back of the book, it has got meanings for a lot of the more general animals, but you can Google it all. But meditate. To meditate, to make a connection and see where it takes you. Also every Wednesday, still on the Moonbix Facebook page, authors talking every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Lots and lots of different subjects. And I will, of course, be back here next Friday. Keep sending me suggestions of things you would like me to talk about. Rachel, thank you so much. Interesting talk. You're very welcome, Rachel. I knew it would appeal to you because you work with animal spirits so much. It is a huge, huge subject. That I say there are some blogs about animal magic on my Pay This Pagan blog if you want to have a look. Christine, brilliant chat. I have your book on animals and love it. Oh, thank you, Christine. And thank you, Kelly. Yeah, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me each week. And I apologize for waffling so long today, but it's such a huge subject. But keep the suggestions coming in and I will try and cover as many as I can. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. And if you've got any questions afterwards, Kay, do you have animal cards like your flower cards? No, the only oracle cards I have at the moment are my flower cards, Kay. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. You guys are fantastic. Keep the suggestions coming in, and I will see you all again next week.